Right then, welcome back to the channel. This is a player ratings video where I'm going to go through all of the stats, the data, and I'm going to try and tell you what happened in the game from a statistical heavy point of view. That's the whole idea of this. People go, you're getting bogged down in what's going on with the numbers. Yeah, that's the whole point of this video. I'm going to try and look at it from a numbers point of view. I already do one review where I do it pure on emotion. That's the one that I do directly after the game. Let a little bit of time pass. Sometimes rewatch the game. Sometimes just watch the highlights. And then look into the data and do my player ratings based on what we saw in the data. Now, the duels in the data are interesting. Maybe I place too much emphasis on what happens in the duels, but I find more or less what happens in the duels is critically important to how a game goes. And generally, if someone's been really good in the duels or really bad in the duels, it reflects in their performance. So I do put a lot of weight into the duels. Now, if we look at how the game went overall, we were dreadful in the first half, totally outplayed, totally outfought, outworked, just out-tempoed, out-desired. It was awful. The defence completely collapsed, just allowed sloppy goals to come through. And the last half an hour or so, a little bit of a resurgence led by Bruno Fernandes, helped out by Garnacho, we scraped a point. Despite the comeback, there was a massive tactical flaw. There was individual performance variation from pretty good to downright woeful. So let's get into it. Starting in goal, as we always do, we go with Andre Onana. 19 out of 23 passes, 83%. Only 6 long balls, 2 are accurate. That's a change to recent weeks. Not going as long. Was it deliberate? Was it because of the way Everton set up to press us? Everton was set up to press, kind of using other players as a press. They didn't press the goalkeeper too much, but they absolutely tried to press the defence. Certainly in the first half, they were relentless in their pressing. An absolute nightmare in the pressing. But the verdict is for Onana, he was nowhere near commanding enough. He wasn't directly really a culprit for either of the goal. He could have been better. Didn't really claim crosses, didn't really organise his defence. One of the things I always remember with Peter Schmeichel is him screaming, "Get out!" The second anyone's made contact with a cross or from a corner or something like that, you've got to clear your box. Because if the box ain't cleared, the carnage, like ensued for the goals against Everton yesterday, ensues, and you end up conceding a goal. No need for it. If you clear the box, they are offside, or you get the box cleared. Simple as that, innit? Either way, 5 out of 10 for Onana. Mazraoui's also getting a 5 out of 10. 80 touches from him, 50 out of 57 passes, 15 duels. He won 11 of them. 7 clearances, 5 tackles, 1 interceptions. Weirdly, 6 dribble attempts and none successful. He put in some decent numbers with 7 clearances and 5 tackles. On the ball, he was safe, wasn't really breaking the lines, didn't really catch the eye in a positive or negative way for what he was doing with the ball. But he was a little bit passive. And certainly defensively, he was a little bit passive. Even though he's got quite good numbers, I just thought it was a poor game from him. Maybe it was a poor game from him, but I don't think it was anywhere near as poor as it was for some of the other defenders. So even though he's only getting a 5, it might actually be the best at a back 3, which is a little bit worrying, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, 5 out of 10, Mazraoui. Picture this, you just landed in a new country, you are ready for adventure, and the moment you step off the plane, no service. Finding your way, staying in touch, even just trying to pull up a map so you know where you're going becomes a hassle. But that's where Sailor, the sponsor of today's video, comes in. Sailor is an innovative eSIM service that is designed to keep you connected wherever you go. And with just one eSIM, you can access affordable data plans in over 180 countries and 8 regions. No more waiting in long airport queues, no more overpaying for local SIM cards or relying on sketchy public Wi-Fi services. It's super simple. You just download the Sailor app, you choose a plan that's right for the travel needs, activate it before your trip, and whether you're visiting a single country or doing a bit of a hopping across multiple destinations, Sailor means seamless connectivity wherever you are. And even if you don't have an upcoming trip, if you can download the app, means that you can be ready the moment that you do travel. And if your phone isn't compatible with an eSIM technology, then don't worry, because they offer a full refund. Plus, they've got 24/7 customer support. It's always there to assist you if you need it. Right now, they're offering an exclusive 15% discount on your plan if you use the code Howson, that's HOWSON, at checkout, or visit sailor.com/Howson. You can claim some savings. Don't wait until you are stranded without service. Download the Sail It app today and make your next trip effortless. Thanks to Sail It for sponsoring the video. Happy travels. De Ligt, he gets a 4.5. Now, he had an 88% pass completion, 58 out of 66, 13 clearances, 10 block shots, 9 duels where he won 5. He only lost possession 8 times. And this is the problem with sometimes going too heavy on the stats, because he was a bit of a mess positionally in the first half. He made lots of blocks, some real big ones, and a lot of clearances. But when Everton came to press, he absolutely crumbled. He looked really awkward in his positioning. He was slow reacting to runners. He was caught wrong-footed for the second goal, and he nearly cost us the game with the poor challenge in that penalty incident. And, you know, I think it was Maguire that they went to VAR for, but De Ligt's pulling his shirt. You know, if it hadn't have been overturned, or if they'd have gone, actually, no, it isn't a foul by Maguire, but it is one from De Ligt, you might be looking at a 2 out of 10 here. So 4.5 out of 10. Some really, really good numbers, but let down by, you know, the eye test, actually. And so was his partner, Maguire. He's getting a 4 out of 10. So 51 out of 55 passes, but he's got an absolute reluctance to break a line when he gets it, and he takes far too long to do anything with it. 14 clearances, 9 block shots, 9 aerial duels where he won 6, lost possession just 6 times. The decision-making of him at times is nuts. I don't understand him. Like, there's times when he chooses to just smash things out of the way, very low level, instead of doing the right thing. Like, it's just decision-making. He reacted far too late to Doucouré's goal, didn't have any aggression in his clearances. Again, someone that improved a little bit in the second half, but the lack of mobility that's just the thing with him. He's too slow. Whenever I move quick, he's too slow. He's too slow in the head, and he's too slow with the feet. And I just think at times he really shown up his lack of ability in that game yesterday. So 4 out of 10 for Harry Maguire. Dorgu gets a 6. And I probably could have teased out maybe a 6.5. In fact, I'm going to go 6.5, actually, because he made me feel good. He won 9 out of 15 duels, 45 out of 54 passes, only 2 out of 6 of his dribbles, 9 clearances, 2 tackles. He was sensational in the first half in terms of his attacking output. I thought he looked really positive. Every time he got on the ball, he looked like he was going to make something happen. There was lots of 1-2 play. There was lots of movement from him. And even though the crosses weren't the most accurate, they were happening early. And it gives me hope that with more game time, he'll grow into that. So 6.5, I think, for Patrick Dorgu. Probably out of the players we've mentioned so far, one of the better ones. Manuel Ugarte is also on a 6.5. 39 out of 43 passes, 91% pass completion. 1 shot, 1 goal. 12 duels, he won 7 of them, 3 tackles, 1 interception. The only midfielder that really shown any sort of fight. His goal was great, and he fought hard defensively. He was often swamped in midfield. He was often covering for 2. Everton did run past him repeatedly, but if there'd have been 2 Ugartes, that wouldn't have happened. You know, playing against the midfield 2 or 3 on your ones is quite tough to do. But I thought he came out of the... in my review, I said I was a little bit disappointed with him at times. That's one of the ones where I watched some of the transitions and I was like, yeah, he is getting run past, because that's what I was seeing. He is getting run past, but it's because others are not around him. He's in the right place, but he is but one man. And he was in the right spot, and sometimes he can look like he's out of position or he's not effective, but he's the one that's in the right spot. If someone was alongside him, oh, this is different, and it's the lack of someone being alongside him. And that brings us to Casemiro, who gets a 5. Now, Casemiro, pretty good numbers. 6 tackles, 7 duels, he won 6 of them. And you're like, this is a good performance, according to the stats. But it's not a good performance, because he was the one that wasn't in the right place. He's still winning his tackles. But if he was in the right place, he'd be doubling those tackles. When we were transitioned on, he just wasn't there, and he did not provide the passing outlet that United needed. For someone of his ability, 35 passes. I mean, let's have a look at him. Who did? He was only 39 for Ugarte, but there should be so much more involvement. Bruno was 65, right? He should be getting on the ball and dictating stuff. He's got the ability to do that. The kindest thing I can say is he's not the player he once was. Yeah. Delot gets a 4.5 as well. He only won 1 of his 6 duels, 3 tackles, 34 out of 37 passes, a little bit safe. But the verdict is he was anonymous. There was no attacking presence. There was no defensive impact. Winning 1 of his 6 duels is pathetic. United need him to come and stretch the play. He didn't influence anything. He was a bit of a waste of a shirt. Really poor performance from Delot. And I am certain that he's only getting selected at the moment because there is nobody else to fill that role. Obviously, with Ahmad being out, you've not really got many other people that you can put in a wing-back spot. He's in a really, really poor vein of form. Bruno, I'm going to give Bruno a 7 on reflection. Numbers-wise, 112 touches. He did lose possession 30 times in that. 65 out of 81 passes, which is 80%. 2 shots, 1 goal. 12 crosses, only 2 were accurate. 13 long balls, 7 were accurate. And that's one thing that I've noticed for a while in Bruno. When he goes back, he's got the ability to dictate from deep. He really does have the ability to dictate from deep. And it's probably more effective than the spamming of crosses he does from the final third. 5 tackles, 8 out of 12 duels won. First half bad. Second half was a captain's response. Scored a genuinely top free kick, created a massive chance. The volume of his chance creation means that he does take risks and he does lose the ball. Sometimes it comes across as careless. But when the chips are down, he looks like the only person that's capable of taking responsibility and actually making things happen. And sometimes you've got to make things happen, haven't you? You want to win ugly? This guy will help you win ugly, for sure. So 7 out of 10 for Bruno. Hojlund. Can I go to a 3.5? You all saw your ass when I gave Xerxes a 3.5 last week. Yeah, it's a 3.5. So 7 out of 7 passes. Cool. Are we impressed by a striker who can pass the fucking ball? It's not your job. You need to be taking shots. 8 duels. How many duels did he win? Fucking none. None. Physically, absolutely bullied. They took his fucking lunch money. He was completely and utterly just shut out of that game by Everton's defence. Never found space. You need a serious rethink. If you're going to be writing a team sheet out and you put fucking Hojlund's name on it, you need a serious thing. What is he doing? He offers you 0 in behind threat. He offers you 0 ability to hold the ball up. Yes, he made 7 passes. What was he on the pitch for? An hour, just over an hour. Pathetic. Pathetic. You can talk about development. You can talk about age. You can talk about this, that, and the other. Some players score goals. Some players take a while to really find their feet when it comes to scoring goals. People do not go years and years and years without scoring goals or winning a fucking duel. His ability to hold the ball up is pathetic. I don't know if he could do it at under 18 level looking at him. 3.5. And I don't know why it's 3.5, to be honest. As high as. Xerxes. 4.5. 21 out of 31 passes. He's getting involved in the link play a little bit more, which is what you need from one of the 10s. 1 shot off target. It's not enough. 1 big chance missed. You can't expect them to score with every shot that they have. He needs to be having a lot more volume of shots, but when we're not getting loads of volume, or you're not getting loads of volume, you got to be accurate. Be fucking accurate. Now, looking at the size of him, he would have done better in the duels, wouldn't he? Fucking no. Won 1 out of 12. 1 out of 12. It's embarrassingly bad. The big chance miss was almost inexcusable. He lost possession 18 times. That's literally nearly as... You had 21 passes. That means that you lost it almost as many times as you fucking completed a pass. And 1 out of 12 duels. What are you doing? Is there no mirrors in your house to realise that you're an absolute big bastard? Play like one. Wasted opportunity. And then substitutions-wise, Garnacho came on. 15 out of 15 passes. 1 dribble success. Won 3 out of 4 duels. The direct running changed the game. Would you say he should have started? No, because I actually think this is what you get out of Garnacho when you bring him off the bench. He is a bit of a tempo changer, and he has an impact off the bench that I don't think he gets to have when he starts. Then a Euro, 6 out of 10. He looked pretty composed. He only got like 15, 20 minutes or something like that, didn't he? But 6 out of 10. We stabilised a little bit when he came on. And then Obi Martin. Now, I think Obi Martin contributed as much, which I know resulted in like no shots or whatever, but he contributed as much in the 10 or so minutes that he had versus how long Hojlund was on the pitch. Start giving him more minutes. Start giving him a lot more minutes because, and I'm not saying start him, right? I'm not saying start Obi Martin, but I'm saying it's time to start giving him more minutes because Hojlund's doing nothing. And I mean doing nothing. Like legitimately, like a professional level of fuck all. So it's 20 minutes he got on it. Amorim, what do we say? 5.5 for Amorim. First half was tactically dog shit. The subs helped in the second half. I guess you get a little bit of credit for snatching a point. We should have been out of the game entirely, really. Paper thing come back, hiding serious problems. West Ham going and beating Arsenal unexpectedly, I think it's fair to say, afterwards, puts us right in the shit. And it's only our goal difference not being minus 17, which is what theirs is, keeping us in 15th place and not being 16th. It's bad. It's really bad. See you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.